It's Bang who ends up dropping 2 players left to stand here from SEN, Zekken and Zelsis, trying to make sense of this chaos in the round, trying to reclaim any sort of space. Zelsis slips in from under. There's the one, Jiggle. Stun, oh no! Just a bullet tag slowing down the momentum. He can't evade that.
Good dodge on the flash. Step 1.
Many more to follow, and G2 any sort of space. More than a firm grasp, man. They have been in control from the start here on Fracture. They might be a map down, but they are determined to take this one all the way.
And you're seeing right from the beginning, the game plan is to push out the opposite side of the map. They've now done this multiple times. Round 15 and round 16. When SEN look geared up to go for a B split.
I see 2 people just like this.
Yeah, because he's found the perfect timing. And because SEN are not thinking about that. SEN were too slow to do that on their own defense half. G2 are ahead in the macro.
There's no more room for error for SEN. At this point, basically just thinking ahead to Haven, but gotta focus. Maybe gather a bit of momentum, just make it that much more doable. Valen does eventually get removed away from the side here. The bullets are firing, Sentinels flooding out the feed. Does eventually get removed away from the side here. The bullets are firing, Sentinels. Does eventually get removed away from... Is going to be rebounding, pushing John out into the open. And, well, okay, now a spray down, Trent! Where have you pulled that from? Just from the side, just when he thought SEN were getting comfortable into this round. It's a 1v1. Him versus the Rate. Doesn't expect to reposition the Rate straight from behind. Took that fast time in a flank around, and so the slightest of breathing room. But the question is, how many more rounds can string together until it's just over?
I also think that's the only way you're killing Trent at the moment, with a bullet to the back of the head. Because if you take a straight fight against him at the moment, he looks unstoppable. 17 and 6 on this map, by the way.
Nice! Come on, man, brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Well, they'll need another 7 rounds. Just to get things to overtime, by the way, not even to win the map.
Morale still keeping it up. Big ults on either side.
They need to be looking for these defensive pushes because G2 are constantly active.
This is going to be cleared out. Wait a second, SEN. No, they're being squeezed! Up onto the ropes. Celtics just couldn't quite escape in time. Trying to go a little bit quirky with the movement there. Second's just not able to get that kill. Slightest miss with a Bucky in hand. And it's up to Bang to respond. And he does. It's 2 ripped away and Armageddon of their own, and they have that site access, turning it back into the 3v3. Slowed once more. Great sticking with the plan. John finds his kill and his mark. Leaf, he's cheeky with it on this map. He's often trying to take those timings, and it's unusual to catch him unaware.
They've just heard the door open, but I don't think they're going to be aware of Valen. They still think there's a chance that he's over towards Spawn.
And SEN are not out of that danger zone just yet. Valen creeping forwards, he's just spotted it. Just the shoulder. Fault line, it's instantaneous. It's rapid. These players are dwindling. They are toppling G2. It's almost there. It's within their grasp, and they will have it. Not to be denied. Haven is inevitable.
The best of 5 in the Kickoff trophy between our 2 top teams from Americas. And it goes all the distance, all the way. Not every map has been close here today. Each round feels like there's chances for either team to win. This one probably the most one-sided in G2's favor, at least. They certainly came in with a bigger macro understanding of what they wanted to do. Their attack side's impossible to flood defend against. On defense, constantly getting those pushes working. The set plays, the ideas were great. Do we have any clue, though, what's going to happen on Haven? No. We haven't seen it from either of these teams. They've been mostly banning it. It is such an unknown way to crown the best team in Americas of early 2025.
Yeah, and what a way to do it, man. These teams have pushed each other to the brink. As you mentioned, Josh, listen, not every map has been close, but we deserve this. These teams are delivering. Haven is where it's all going to be decided. Multiple unknowns across the board. I just cannot wait to get back into the action.
tubuh membutuhkan cairan secara cepat, elektrolit dan karbohidrat yang hilang perlu digantikan. Dan sistem kekebalan tubuh harus diperkuat. Minum UC 1000 Lemon Water atau Orange Water. Minuman isotonik unik dengan 1000 mg vitamin C.
G2 doing enough to slow it down. Lee's timing is impeccable.
Silent all over, and second swings backside, gets 3.
And it can only end like this. Map 5 on the horizon as G2 manages to pick up Fracture 13-5 in what could only be one of the quickest maps that we have seen here in this series so far.
What is mental about the pace of that map compared to the rest? Split had less rounds played. It was a 13-4, yet that map went for 15 more total minutes than Fracture at a 13-5. And this map in particular, I think, really illustrates what Josh Ortiz said about how dynamic the team is with the pace, with Giacomo in the roster. Fracture, their average time to plant the spike, G2, is 35 seconds compared to, for instance, on Abyss, 50 seconds. Split, 57 seconds. They are running it down on this map, and it's because they have a guy like Jaw.
And I want to show a couple of the XX where they are running it down throughout this game, because they had some really well put together executes with this comp that we were seeing out from G2. This first one, they're all passing that Vise wall together, so it doesn't actually cut anyone off. Then it's an aftershock to stop the flood from coming in. Then they're throwing down thorns. They have so many layers of utility to stop the defenders getting out these smokes. Most of the time the win condition as a defender on Fracture is getting past that smoke, getting in on this flood. But with the Vise, with the Brim Mollies, with Raise Nades, they're so good at stopping Sentinels from having that opportunity. Here's another. Jaw gets sent flying with the rocket in hand. They're ulted by the Teo, but they still get outside. They still have thorns. That combines with an aftershock to get a kill onto the breach, and then they clean up with some really pretty fundamentals on this round as well. And it was rounds like this all day on that attacking side to put G2 so far up on Fracture.
Incredibly impressive to see the speed at which G2 is taking some of these executes, and I mean, just even reflected in the first kills as well. Just the fact that you start off just so aggressive in their face, really leaving Wyatt Sentinels with no real option but to just kind of like deal with that aggression every single time.
It is this composition that is so explosive, and cool to see Jaw on the Raise on this map instead of the Yoru that Sentinels were opting for. We see that Yoru be, to some extent, a natural counter to this Tejo meta where you can draw out the util and teleport away. But when you have the Raise, that's just even more damaging utility to sync up with everything else that you've already got. So when you're playing that fast style, anchoring against this comp is next to impossible.
Yeah, no, of course. And there's obviously, as we look forward here, we have Fracture on the horizon. I mean, I don't even know what to expect. Oh, sorry, not Fracture, Haven. I don't even know what to expect there. Look at that, my brain's all
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this last map was like the Jojimo Rays show, but there's so many options on which way G2 could go. For context, neither of these teams has played Haven just yet in Kickoff. So this is a complete unknown quantity going into map number 5 of a series. Is it going to be more Breach Teo Yoru like we've seen from Sentinels? Is it a more classic comp like what the Brazilian teams have played? There's a lot of options for this map number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last we were seeing of Haven, it was the very standard, you got your Breach, you got your Jet, etc. What we've always seen on the map. And do they dare try and play with a Tejo look to try and really prioritize controlling areas of the map like A main? It's possible, but so cool that we've made it the distance in this series.
Yeah.
So we got to see SEN debut on Fracture, and we get to see both teams debut on this.
Well, that's what it's all about right there. They're playing for the Kickoff trophy. And of course, for Sentinels, they'll be playing for their second Kickoff trophy here in G2, desperately trying to get their first. The question is, who's going to come out on top? You don't want to miss it. Map 5 coming up right after this, and we'll see you on the other side.
And this is it. This is what it all comes down to here in our grand finals of Kickoff for Americas itself as well. G2, they have been so close in the past, man. They've had two chances to win a grand finals here. They've been in familiar spots, but it's crumbled beneath their fingers multiple times. Sentinels themselves have gone on a run. They can cast their minds back to 2024 and understand how far they came in that fashion in Kickoff itself.
And the last time that we saw these two teams match up in this tournament, Sen weren't close, right? So it's not like you have that same fire underneath you of, we're within touching distance. This time they are. Breach Tejo gonna come out with Yoru, so sticking so heavily to the meta, if you want to call it that at the moment, for G2. Not adapting to Sova Breach, for example, or playing a Jet here. What are we gonna see from Sen? There are so many different options on Haven. Oh, I love this. Okay, so Yoru ISO going back to like a Fnatic-esque composition, but allowing both of your duelist players, because let's be real, that's what Narrate is in his heart of hearts, to go out there and frag. If there was a map for Narrate to be able to come back to Americas after his year in EMEA and showcase that he's that kind of player that deserves respect to pick up a trophy, he could put out an insanely good performance here on ISO. What to expect?
Yeah.
Neither of these teams have played Haven this year.
You can only go off familiar scenes whenever teams are trying to play the same compositions, but you just don't know how they're going to be coming into it themselves. From map 5, the decider for the grand finals between these two teams. They're getting readied up. They're going to be heading into Haven. A pistol round where it always begins. But so many unknowns here. We've got to get the energy up because this is it. It's what both of these teams have been looking forward to. Revenge for Sentinels to steal away that trophy and title and chance for G2. And for them, it's been in the making for many, many years.
We know roughly how the Yoru ISO composition is going to work. There are not many people playing G2's compositional archetype here on Haven. It has huge amounts of area denial, but it should be limited on the info it gets on defense, I think.
Full speed ahead. Sentinels, not quite, faking it out.
Waiting for a fault line, waiting for a salvo, something like that. Maybe even seeing if the wall was triggered there.
Yeah.
And the clone did pass the choke point, so you're pretty confident the Vice isn't playing C.
Just leaves 2 options on A. One front B, one garage. Light work, really?
there's
Light work.
Tons of different lanes, but it does mean that they could re-hit C after a little bit of exploration elsewhere. So they're pushing back a potential defensive push on A. Looking to cut off some rotates too, or are they going to hit the B site?
Might be where their eyes are settling on, but
Zeken's gate crash just expired in spawn, so he's going to be stuck on the C lurk.
I think they're trying to make this feel like a B hit, and they're going to pivot into the C, but we'll find out ourselves. Shield popped, trying to ISO these fights. Zelsis gets caught onto the flank there. Stun's going to be that connection. The rate a lot to do into this spot. Spamming away, praying, and the damage done. He was whistled down to just double digits, and it was enough at the end of the day, but Zeken has granted him at least easy access, potentially over towards C. He might have just seen it, twists and turns, and these fights that are taken. Jorgamo wins it out versus Bang. Man, it's going to be committed. Stuck down by John QT, but it's him and Zeken with a lot to do.
A 2v2 fight in Garage going to be set up here.
And damage done prior. I mean, Jorgamo just goes down. That's a TP relocation. Pivot back and away, but John has taken that space. Didn't anticipate that there was a second player ready to face it. And now Zeken in that 1v3. VALORANT's got the smoke for it. It's very difficult to play this one. Zeken purely just have to base it off of spam, essentially. And now he can stick it. His team is applying that pressure down through C main.
Another pistol round win there for G2. I'm not seeing the vision for SEN. I don't think that's exactly what they drew up in their plan beforehand. They ended up setting 3 separate players to lurk. Zelsis had the lurk over towards A long. Narrate kind of contacted into B and ended up lurking in.
Looking at his radar while lurking and just died.
And yeah, Leaf is just pointing out that caught a player looking at the minimap. So 3 separate people trying to set up a lurk. Including Bang was the other player that I didn't mention there that we saw get caught in mid.
Sentinels. A little bit all in, but TP forwards, and okay, what do you hear that? Zeken out into the open. Repeat taken by Jorgamo. He's not shy to take those fights.
One of your big, small objectives in this round, I suppose.
Timing.
Oh,
Bang's managed to catch this. Yep. The drone did not clear him. Oh, he's playing this one to almost perfection. Paranoia sweeps its way through. Not sure if that connection's there, but a Util's going to be coming out in spades to see if they can help this one out. That's a TP into the back corner. Out the shot. Somehow catching on to these players. Ring around the roses, and a spike drop down into the open. There were chances there. Got to respect SEN. The gumption to even try and go for a play like that and Bang to jump on it, but doesn't work out.
That's 2 rounds in a row that Sentinels have called some kind of contact play through a choke point. And it makes me think that that's part of their overarching strategy, is to not give timings for the salvo, for the stun. Bang couldn't quite pull off the teleport there before the aftershock that came through default caught him.
Hey, we got away with the mistake. Let's guys, call contact, call shit.
Yeah, and I think that's important there, is that somebody needs to be taking contact. They're holding spots expecting Sentinels to make noise and use util. They've been caught now kind of twice.
Oh, Jorgamo always in their faces. He's only got a bulldog to his name. He's trying to take that fight, but TP backing away once more to safety. Time bomb for Trent. Needs to be very careful and worried. He's lucky not to just trade out that orb for his life. G2 are now going to be getting primed and ready, and this is so quick, man. They're using the drone for the re-clear down through A short. All tripped up.
Leaf versus Zelsis again on the flank, on the lurk. Leaf has been good for it 2 out of 2 rounds so far.
Flash breaks the thorns before there can be too much more damage done. G2 grouping up towards mid.
Wow, double re-clearing mid, giving up Garage. What a call from Leaf.
They've got to squeeze on them, though. Do these players even know? Are they even aware? The answer is no. Leaf strikes right from behind, and Zelsa's got to do a lot here. He's got to try and salvage this entire hit that's coming through over towards the A site. Zelsis can now become a bit of a problem player for them. Do they have to clear up the cam? It's a game of cat and mouse. What a plan does go down, but oh, he's looking in a different direction.
Jorgamo is also a problem player, though. He was behind in A long and SEN never cleared it.
Drop down! Oh my God, what's occurring? No one's covering these fights. And the angle's there. Jorgamo's in their faces. Do they know where Bang is? Sticking, Jorg gets half. There's a smoke to supplement it, covering it, obfuscating it. It's 3 in a row for G2. The problem that's rearing its head. Bang survives with the rifle. But it's a consolation prize, man, because Kaplan mentioned this. Doesn't matter how much prep you put into a map. Doesn't matter how close you are on the gun rounds. If you lose the pistol, you lose the bonus, you're going to lose the map.
But they've also lost the pistol and bonus by trying to get weird lurk plays through all over the place. You have a Yoru ISO composition. A Yoru ISO composition, sorry. Just make some space with the Paranoia and with Zeken's teleport and allow Narrate to run around trying to frag people. This contact stuff is to try to get around and behind Jonah P and Trent's util. But it's also making SEN not play together and play to their win conditions.
It's a full investment by SEN. Kept the one rifle, but half armor almost across the board. Regen shields if they can afford it. Jorg is going to get information gathered. Wait a second.
He just came out of his
he
ult.
just came out of Dimensional Drift. He looks like he wants to try and take that fight up through a lobby. They're not giving it to him.
He teleported back as well. Have they heard that? They're still pinging out areas over towards A lobby, so...
And through mid. Oh,
brutal.
Smoke propped up. Information gathered, and they're just not watching their backs, man. These angles are open. G2 making a mockery of it right now. We didn't know what to expect here for Haven, but the game plan has just fallen to pieces for SEN.
They're leaving so many gaps, and G2 are finding them. I think Zels has got to be more defensive in his Cypher play rather than trying to find the lurk timings. He needs to stop G2.
Jonah P.
30 seconds left.
Tucked up tight, reinforcements arriving. Spot the back, there's a swing, Bang's lucky.
Here's Zels trying to find that lurk timing though.
There's 20 seconds left. G2 no. Oscarage control. Okay, whipping a rifle back around again. Zelsis did get the one kill, but there's only 13 seconds left. They don't have main control.
10 seconds
I mean, Leaf has got this. Bang, in the smoke.
Trying to go for it, a bit of spam. Oh, it's revealed his hand. Definitely has, but it's uncomfortable for Sentinels. They know that they have to fight for control of at least one of these areas of the map, and bullets are flying forwards, it doesn't matter. The player advantage that G2 have earned up more than enough to sail their way to victory in a fourth round now.
If you're looking for the cope for Sentinels here, once they get up to Yoru ult, ISO ult, they can start to apply much more pressure onto these sites. But you can't be relying on the ultimates the entire time. And you're still a round away from that, by the way. I mean, SEN have got to go, I think, here for another eco.
One enemy remaining.
It's looked like SEN's permaban. So far, right? It's looked like we're finally getting to the portion of the BO5 where G2's double map veto is giving them the win. And I thought we were going to get here earlier, I've got to be honest with you. I thought that G2 were looking so clean so far in Kickoff, not dropping a single map coming into this grand final, that with double map veto, SEN were going to struggle to hold on. And we've been dazzled by what Sentinels have shown us so far in these first 4 maps. Especially starting out so strong on Split. But here, it's not cooking. By the look of things, we can see the economy, and it looks like SEN are going to try to force this round.
Opted into it again.
They're one away from getting every single ultimate online. The one that I would be prioritizing is Narrate's, because I think once you have Narrate's ISO ultimate on the attack side, you can grab a player, scale off the back of that, Paranoia, TP, Zeken into spots. There's a lot of big execs you can do, and it makes it very difficult for G2.
Concern here, though, G2 might be one step ahead with the player positions. Timer's going to start ticking at some point as we get down into the round.
Yeah, they are so far ahead of this, aren't they?
It's a salvo. The fault line, I think G2 going to try to take that early control. That makes it feel like Jorgamo's not here with the operator.
Well,
even pushing forwards.
Even if Jorg does have to teleport away, you've still got a crunch onto the ult orb.
He's made a bit of noise. Are they aware? Salvos. He's hoping that they get pushed back into him. Cracking shot by Narrate.
That gives him the ult as well.
And with that, maybe you can snowball it into your advantage, but SEN are taking it slow and steady once more.
The drone doesn't clear enough. The idea there is that the drone is supposed to see whether they're playing retake. If they are playing retake, you take the site. If not, you catch him in the ISO.
Late hit. Oh, Jonah P's been out in the open there. He thought that he had the timing. This dimensional drift might not even be necessary, but he is going to spot out these players, and hello, combo it up. Yep, take it into the gulag. Good luck winning it, and Trent somehow manages it. There's a shield to contest with. Still there, gets one. locked up onto the side, but it was the impetus around that SEN needed. Took a lot to get there, looked a bit messy in the process.
But it was the right call to force up, knowing that you had those ults about to come online. As soon as you get the ult cycle going, Sentinel's comp is really difficult to defend against. You see the combos that they have. And even when Trent gets this, he's gonna get traded out. It is ridiculous that he also caught John Cutie.
Yo, you're in the ISO, bro.
One of the things that does, though, I mean, obviously it lets Trent talk. Whoa, what are we going for here?
Off the rips, flashes in their faces, salvos and Armageddon! Narrate stems the bleeding and takes the bite out of that play. Jogamo's still going to be taking the space off the back of that, but forced to respect it with a TP of his own. They're trying to squeeze these players.
Yeah, it's a set play that we've seen some other teams go for, actually, but... Oh! Leaf holds on, Zealous! Leaf's grabbed two!
Trent through the back to Razorvine and Hunter's Fury. He's going to be whipping his way around with just a one tag. Don't have to get the damage done. Not enough for the kill that they're looking for. Still a 2v3.
Jogamo's coming around the flank. No, he's not.
Takes it for the TP. I mean, this is just going to be... Again, that chaos sown into the mix, into the round itself. There's two players on Sentinels. They're looking to see if they can carve an opening.
Trent just got salvos back. They're trying to bait them out. Trying to bait out a peek.
Fighting for a link control as two players meet them. Toss the shoulder. It's going to be a clone into your face. Could be blinding you potentially, but he turns it still. Flashed up. And they're just wandering, waiting out. Into the open backside. 5-1.
Looked like Joe got that kill full blind as well. 5-1. Rough for Sentinels, especially when they start that round with 2 clean kills from Narrate. That's brutal. The decision to go into the B side there and Leaf eats them up. I mean, that is ISO value. That's what you play this composition for, and then... What an angle.
Where are you going?
This is worrying because G2, you can tell inside their comms, can feel the win, can feel the trophy.
Absolutely.
And if you're trying to play on the fact that G2 have choked before, you want to start strong, not allow them to get the confidence.
Salvo's out through mid, that's G2. Slowing down a potential mid-take.
This is one of the reasons the ISO is so good. You can use that shield to be able to just gather ult orbs up. And Narrate, once he ults, he always has an ult point back. It should be so simple to cycle these massive ultimates up.
Time to judge.
Big struggle though so far for SEN. Now they're looking to make their way over towards A. Narrate's going to take a peek. It's a double player held down. I mean, they were watching for it. They hear the sound cue from the shield. He only gets the one. And every smoke, every option is watched for. Right now, SEN are just throwing anything at the wall, seeing what sticks with these lurk plays. TP committed. Leaf is wondering whereabouts these players could be. Rolling Thunder gives him the time for the drop down. Flash on top of it. Hell player banging to win that fight out, and he still needs to hold it down even further. It's just one man. What can he do? Dodge at a flash. Quick turn to the side. Plant's still not down for them. He's going to be stuck, committed. Cosmic Divido forces them forwards into the fight and into the fray. And G2 are now aware of it. They know the possible positions. The IGL has you in his sights.
G2 are dismantling Sentinels. You see it in the rounds. Narrate just decides to pick a timing to apply his shield and swing C long. I mean, maybe just hoping that he would catch a solo Jorg holding the angle. And then Zekken does a very similar thing and just tries to find a timing into the B smoke. Both duelists lurking in this round. It's ranked-esque strategies, not what you expect from a team like Sentinels. But again, this is their permaban, so how much can you really judge them for the situation that they're in? They did an amazing job to get to map 5 here. But if they wanted a chance at victory with the benefit of hindsight, maybe it had to come on Fracture.
Yeah, just a little bit earlier.
Because this is looking tough. This looks like a team that doesn't have the depth in their map pool against an opponent that has got rid of Bind and Lotus. They're not going to be in these kind of spots too often. This only happens in grand finals.
It does. Just that best of 5 debuff that just occurs because when it gets drawn out to this point, like you've been mentioning, it comes down to the preparation. How deep does your map pool go? Of course, there's the mental resilience part of things, and SEN have got listen, they're not lacking that experience in that department. They've been in tenuous spots like this before, competing for titles, trophies in grand finals, but G2, they just want it more.
And they've prepped more here as well. And also they've had enough of the match to get their form back, I think. And especially for Trent. I've been so impressed with what he's put together in the last 2 maps. He's looked electric. I think he'd probably be my MVP so far of this match. Still plenty of rounds left to play though, and there's a chance that Narrate can come online. He's still at the top of the scoreboard. He's not playing too badly, but the whole team doesn't really seem to have a good idea of how to maximize his value. But he's got the ult.
Oh, Salvo fault line. All being expended here, but that's a TP clone. Actually on top of the bricks. That's a ult narrowly avoided.
He got the clone, did he?
Sucking onto a couple of these players. Yeah, is that a clone play? Absurd reactions from Jordan. We're just anticipating it, but a clone in your face doesn't matter. No, he can't get out. It's traded in time. Bang at least gives them that. And a player advantage on top of it, but they haven't cleared. Valin backs to him. And quick reactions from Celsius. Make sure to watch that angle, but damage done to Bang. Wrapping around by Leaf. It's all about this timing, and they are doubled up towards short. Doubled up, and he's, the player weak. Does he anticipate? The Celsius has cut it up into the corner. It's all about this timing. The fight to be taken. Off-angle approach. And the player, the man that has held his ground and stood up to many questions and challenges, Celsius delivers them around.
What a scrappy fight over there towards A-Long. Bang TPs himself on top of bricks, which was unexpected to start. But yeah, I'm pretty sure in the midst of all of that, we saw a pretty sick outplay with Jordan using his clone to stop Narrate's ultimate. Didn't get them the round win though. SEN get 2.
That same A lobby aggression used off the rip forces the slowdown for SEN. Not that they were looking to go into that direction anyway.
Recon Dart also used off the rip towards the back of the C site, which I don't really understand the value of for John. I'll have that back at the minute mark.
Upton back into trying to take control of some of these areas. There's a wall into the face of Zekken.
Narrate kind of wastes his shield here just to take garage control instead of, well, I mean, I guess he's applying pressure. He's kind of just acting as a distraction and a lurk. It's a weird way of using the ice though.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to force that reclear, which Leaf apparently not favored for. Valin, it's impeccable with the timing. I mean, Narrate just not worried about it. He's trying to back himself out of the fight. Clone was used in mid, just pulls back that wall as well on top of it, but a salva's going to be used as that response, and Jogamo ready to lock it down. He's got teammates at his back, and he's taking the fight straight to them, flashes in their face, stuns the supplement, slow down the pace. The drone now has to be offloaded. SEN looking to get themselves in. It's a half clearance. It's a half clearance! Trent, he's just decimated them!
Beautiful distraction. You can't get past this guy. He's been unbelievable in these last couple maps. He's 12-3 currently. And he lit the world up on Fracture too. The defensive util that G2 have to work with here is barbaric.
I'm caging.
I mean, he's making a comment there that the cage was beautiful for him to play around despite it being thrown from Celsius, I think.
Cutting through.
It's all smiles for G2.
All right, here's an exec though from SEN on an eco, albeit.
And they need Narrate to lead that charge. It is an eco. Hold on, twist and turns. You're trying to break the ankles, but again, not quite the weaponry for it still. Man gets the one, swing through the cage. And Celsius has gone down anyway. It's rapid. And it feels like desperation at its core.
When you run those kind of fast hits, it does make it really easy for G2 to be able to find the right timings for their stuns, flashes, sucks, pulls, salvos. They've got everything. It's really tough. You can see why SEN are trying so much of this lurking, contacting style of play. But it makes their comp look so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Can John pull a rabbit out a hat in the world's most unlikely 1v3? Because otherwise, they've still only got 2 rounds out of 10.
There's no gun. There's no util, but he doesn't want to reveal it. The only thing he's got going for him is that they don't know where he is. He's timing to cross to the drone, but, well, dart's in order, and Salvo's at your feet. Good luck crossing that boundary. Cosmic Divide even committed, shows a bit of respect, I think, that G2 making sure to expend these ults, and they've got the crossfire set up. Jump spot, it's going to be dealt with.
It's okay. He drew out the Cosmic Divide. That's a win. But SEN needs some rounds at this point. G2 are running away with it. You're seeing that gap now between these two teams here on Haven. And they're going to have so many tools as well to use on the attack. This is not just a defense-sided comp. We've already seen when they play, you know, Split, for example, is one where this comp is really difficult to stop once it gets rolling.
So far, G2 though on track to be grabbing that title, a trophy. It's eluded them and evaded them most of their careers. Here's aggression. Increase again with the tempo, but that's Bang just perched up on top of the staircase, and the angle unexpected for Jogumo.
G2 feel like they have to make something happen here, because if they wait, Sentinels have got an enormous ult advantage. There's the Cypher ult.
Yeah. And it pushes back G2 when they were looking for another go of things outside the full doors. All up. Nerofef gives them the info. They know that A has just the one lurking for it, and Zekin's going to be gathering even more information. Thorn's popped off, but he doesn't care about that. Straight into the fight, Leaf. How cheeky do you want to get? Armageddon is going to be layered down onto these players as well, and it's created that window in the pocket. Still Zekin from behind, and he does wrangle his rifle just in time. It's 2 dropped. Zekin needed that. Needed to show himself up here. Still, he's stunned. Go to the corner and unaware of where Jonah P could be coming from. Wait a second, it's a 1v2. Drone not being used. Flash up and over towards the top, but tagged up. Jonah P forced to respect it. Cannot give these G2 players ins, and you can feel it now. SEN realize it. Offload and volley util, doubled up. It's a good call to make.
SEN get another on the board. An 8-4 half could be possible. Could be. They would have to